Hey gang, Coach Mark here, Mark Sweeney from Austin Dental Spa in Austin, Texas. If you tuned in last week, you know that our theme for this month is it's spring training time with the little play on the Major League Baseball guys. So we're doing spring training. I'm going to help you knock it out of the park with leading a healthier lifestyle every Wednesday this month about this time. So thanks for tuning in. And before we get started too far along, our topic today is going to be what has four legs, a tail, and a wet nose, and can make your life better and potentially even add years to your life. Well, in less than 30 minutes. So we'll get to that in a minute. First, I got a couple of menu items here. The Best of the Best, now they call it Austin Community Awards. They change it nearly every year, but the American Statesman, the local newspaper, gives out awards for the last 5 years for the best of category, everything from best breakfast taco to best place to have brunch, best outdoor eating establishment, nicest eating establishment, best chiropractor, best cosmetic doctor, best cosmetic dentist, best dentist. So we've got two categories that we somehow seem to get nominated for every year. And every year we've won at least one of them. 2 years we won both best dentist and best cosmetic dentist. Right now the voting is going on until the end of the month. You can vote every day. All you have to do is log in to statesman.com is what it's called, www.statesman.com/contest. And I think that'll get you there. If not, statesman.com will take you. They'll have a link to click to go to the voting. And like I've said, once you put your email in, you can go back every day and vote. We sure would appreciate your support. We want to make it 6 years in a row. And so I appreciate your support. They made it a little more confusing this year. Best dentist is in the beauty and health category, and then best cosmetic dentist is in a separate category, one down from the beauty and health. Why they did that, I'm not quite sure. They didn't ask me. Just like the express lane on Mopac. They didn't ask me if one lane was going to do the trick. 10 years later, we can tell them one lane didn't do the trick, didn't speed traffic up any at all. Anyway, they didn't ask me. So, also, this year, or this month, is Oral Cancer Awareness Month in the month of April every year. So if you haven't had an oral cancer screening, your dentist should be doing it at least once a year on you. It takes all of about 30 seconds. He should be putting his finger inside your mouth, feeling underneath your tongue, along the inside of your cheek, underneath your jaws here, feeling for swollen lymph nodes, and then just taking a visual look around for anything that looks out of the ordinary. That's basically your cursory oral cancer screening. But if you haven't thought about that, oral cancers are on the rise, as we talked about last week, not because of smoking. Actually, fewer people are smoking, so the number of smokers is going down, but oral cancer is on the rise because of human papillomavirus, or HPV, is on the rise. It's a communicable disease that is transferred by close contact, and there is a vaccine for it. Hate to bring up vaccines in my Wisdom Wednesdays since they're such a hot topic a year ago, but anyway, there is a very effective vaccine for HPV. So that's something to be on the lookout for. We check all of our patients every time we're doing a cleaning for any of the strange lumps, bumps, or reddened areas that haven't been there. We take lots of photos of that kind of stuff. Once in a while, we send the photos to our oral surgeon to get their opinion on something that looks out of the ordinary. And almost always, we have the patient come back in about 2 weeks, because if it's there, the same or bigger, it needs to be biopsied. If it's gone, it was something they bit into a tortilla chip or something and cut their mouth or something like that. So anyway, it's one of those things you want to catch early, not too late. Now let's get back to the four legs, a tail, and a wet nose. What could that possibly be? Well, there's a couple of choices, but I'll make it easy for you. There's a reason why dogs are called man's best friend, not wives. Dogs are called man's best friend because there's actually research. Who knew? there was a survey of 1,000 dog owners, and they found that they attributed a myriad of health benefits to their four-legged friends. Check this out. 84%, now this is subjective people telling the researchers what they felt about their dog, but 84% said that they had become more mindful of other people and other animals because they owned a dog. 75%, that's 3 out of 4, said that they felt less stress since getting a dog. That's amazing. In the United Kingdom, this is not lost on the English people either, 78% of British dog owners saw an increase in their self-esteem once they bought a dog and had to start taking care of it. 59%, almost 60%, said that their confidence boost extended to their workplace, where their dog wasn't even there. And last of all, 80% claimed that their motivation levels had increased. Now, how in the heck is that possible? And the surveys revealed that the benefits could be felt after just a half an hour of being in your dog's presence. So that's where the 30 minutes comes from. I found that fascinating. Let's dig in here. We got a couple of different things, and I've got personal experience with some of these. Dogs are good for your heart. There's actually research that was done in 1950 and repeated again in 2019 found that dog owners had a lower risk of death. Now, we're all going to die eventually, but dog owners lived longer. That's significant. Number 2, dogs can help us cope with a crisis. This was actually done at Purdue University's College of Veterinary Medicine, where we have a patient, Leanne Green, going to school there right now, and I have a son going to undergraduate in engineering at Purdue. Great school, great veterinary school. They did this study, and they found that military veterans with PTSD do better physiologically and psychologically when they have a service dog. More on that in a second. Veterans with service dogs had significantly fewer symptoms of PTSD and showed improved coping skills. Now, I have 2 veterans as patients and friends. One from the Iraq-Afghanistan war most recently, and one from way back in the Vietnam era. He's a year older than me. Both of them were suffering from PTSD after they came back from their service. And both of them went into in-house treatment for PTSD, where they actually went and stayed at a designated campus for over a month. And both of them came back out of that treatment with puppies. And so that's something that the people in the Veterans Administration that deal with soldiers with PTSD, they know something that we don't necessarily know about, but both of them were instructed that they had to buy this puppy and they had to learn to take care of it, and they had to train it, and they had to bring it to all their therapy sessions, and they felt like it did make them shift their focus from themselves to another an animal that depended on them, that was dependent on them. And so it shifted them physiologically and psychologically. I found that fascinating. Number 3, dogs can make you more attractive. I have an anecdotal evidence for this too. If you're looking for a date, get a dog. We used to have this beautiful red Doberman Pinscher. I mean, she was beautiful, Rosie. And I had a nephew going to law school here at UT about 15 years ago. He would come to our house and get that dog and take it to the hike and bike trail when he was going for a run. The dog loved it because it got out and got to see other dogs and out of our backyard. But he loved it because he said, every time I take Rosie to the hike and bike trail, some attractive woman will stop me and say, "Oh, that's a beautiful dog. What's her name?" And so struck up conversation. So he became a chick magnet through the dog. So who knew? So there's another one that says in the same set, there's another study that researchers asked individuals to rate people in photographs. And so ostensibly it would go to online dating even, that people who had male and female, people who had photos of themselves with a dog in the photo rated higher than people who did not have a dog in their lives. Now, unfortunately, for you cat lovers, I have to say, they tried that too. Cats do not have the same appeal that dogs do. Plus, the cat would probably be looking the other way anyway. You know, that's just what cats do. Number 4, dogs help seniors with cognitive function and social interaction. You've heard that people with rescue dogs will go to the old folks' homes, the memory care facilities, and the people actually have improvement in their memory and in their just overall physiologic function from just these people will take their dogs in and just let the dog go up to the different people sitting in the sitting area and let them pet them and let the dogs, you know, come to their bed. So if you're feeling a little stressed, if you're having trouble with some things, if you just don't feel like life's giving you everything you want, maybe you should consider getting a dog. I got one 3 years ago, a rescue dog, part pit bull, and I can attest to every one of these things. It changed my life. It gave me something else to focus on. Now I have a reason I got to go home, because otherwise I'm going to be cleaning up the carpet. And it just changes you physiologically to have a dog that you know is dependent on you to feed him, to take care of him, to make sure that that he's fed and watered and gets walks and all that kind of stuff. So my conclusion and my health tip for the week, I always give a health tip at the end, is dogs rule. So other furry critters, not so much, but adopt a dog or borrow someone else's dog for 30 minutes. Remember, I said only 30 minutes. These researchers found that 30 minutes of playing with or just sitting with a dog can have almost the same effect as owning one. So if you don't own one and you don't want to own one, go play with somebody else's dog for 30 minutes. See if that doesn't work for you. I'll see you next week for another version of Wisdom Wednesday.